The quote by Nassim Taleb, "A Stoic is a Buddhist with attitude," beautifully expresses the connection of Buddhism and Stoicism. These two ancient philosophies, born thousands of miles apart, have a lot in common and have helped many people over time. Even though they have some differences, they both teach important lessons that can make your life better. By learning from both, you can handle life's ups and downs with more strength and calmness. Buddhism began around the 5th century BCE in ancient India. It was founded by Siddhartha Gautama, who later became known as the Buddha. Siddhartha was a prince who lived a life of luxury, but he was deeply troubled by the suffering he saw in the world. He decided to leave his palace and seek the truth about life and suffering. After years of meditation and searching, he attained enlightenment while meditating under a Bodhi tree. He realized that suffering comes from desires and attachments, and he developed the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path as a way to overcome this suffering and achieve inner peace. Stoicism started in ancient Greece around the 3rd century BCE. It was founded by Zeno of Citium. Zeno was a wealthy merchant who lost everything in a shipwreck. After this loss, he began studying philosophy to find a way to deal with his misfortune. He started teaching his ideas in Athens, focusing on the importance of rational thinking, virtue, and understanding what is within our control. Stoicism teaches that we should accept whatever happens calmly and focus on living a virtuous life, which brings true happiness. Both Buddhism and Stoicism began as responses to personal suffering and the desire to find a way to live a better life. The founders of both philosophies, the Buddha and Zeno, experienced significant challenges and sought answers to the nature of suffering and happiness. They each concluded that inner peace and contentment come from within, not from external circumstances. Both philosophies emerged as practical guides to help people live more fulfilling and resilient lives, emphasizing self-control, mindfulness, and virtue. The first similarity is focus on inner peace and self-control. Both philosophies focus on finding inner peace and having self-control. They suggest that true happiness comes from within, and that external events shouldn't control how we feel. Buddhism teaches mindfulness and staying aware of the present moment. Through practices like meditation, people learn to observe their thoughts and emotions without letting them take over, which helps create a sense of inner calm. Stoicism teaches not to act impulsively on emotions and to keep control over reactions. Stoics use rational thinking and reflection to stay calm and composed no matter what happens around them, thereby achieving a serene mind. Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Buddha also said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Realize this, and you will find strength. Here, both are highlighting that true peace and strength come from within, emphasizing self-control and inner calm as paths to happiness. The second similarity is impermanence and acceptance of change. Both philosophies recognize that life is constantly changing and emphasize the importance of accepting this reality. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence, anicca, teaches that everything is temporary and always changing. Buddhists are encouraged to accept this, understanding that attachment to temporary things leads to suffering. Stoicism promotes the acceptance of fate, amor fati, which involves embracing whatever life presents, including suffering and loss, as part of the natural order. Also acknowledges that everything in life is temporary. Stoics practice accepting change by understanding that they can't control external events and focusing on their own reactions and attitudes instead. Buddha said, "Nothing is permanent. Everything is subject to change. Being is always becoming. Marcus Aurelius put it, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Both Buddha and Marcus Aurelius are highlighting the transient nature of life and the importance of accepting change. The third similarity is detachment from desires and material possessions. Both philosophies promote detachment from desires and material possessions as a way to achieve true contentment and freedom from suffering. In Buddhism, attachment to desires and material possessions is seen as a major source of suffering. By detaching from these and following the Eightfold Path, individuals can reach a state of nirvana, free from craving and aversion. Stoicism advises against valuing external goods and wealth, as they're not essential for a virtuous life. Stoics believe that true happiness comes from living in line with nature and reason, rather than accumulating possessions. Buddha said, "The root of suffering is attachment." Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Both emphasize that true happiness and contentment come from within, through detachment from desires and material possessions. The fourth similarity is cultivation of virtue and moral integrity. Both philosophies emphasize the importance of developing virtue and moral integrity for a meaningful and fulfilling life. Buddhist teachings encourage ethical conduct through the 5 precepts and the practice of compassion, loving-kindness, and wisdom. Virtuous actions lead to positive karma and contribute to spiritual growth. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Stoics believe that living virtuously, in line with reason and nature, is the highest good and the path to true happiness. Buddha said, "The way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart." Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Here, they are stressing that true fulfillment comes from cultivating virtue and moral integrity. Both talk about becoming a good man with heart. The fifth similarity is mindfulness and present moment awareness. Both philosophies value mindfulness and being fully present in the moment as essential practices for inner peace and self-awareness. Mindfulness, sati, is a core practice in Buddhism, involving paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This helps individuals understand their thoughts and emotions better, leading to greater clarity and calmness. Stoicism promotes mindfulness through reflection and attention to one's thoughts and actions. By being present and mindful, Stoics aim to live according to their principles and make rational decisions when facing life's challenges. Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." Seneca said, "Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future." They are highlighting the importance of staying present and mindful. They teach that by focusing on the here and now, we can better understand ourselves, make wiser decisions, and achieve inner peace. While both philosophies help us find peace and live morally, Buddhism offers a broader spiritual guide, while Stoicism gives practical tips for everyday life. They both help us live with purpose and strength, but in slightly different ways. It should not be Buddhism versus Stoicism. Rather, we can use both to improve our lives and gain wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed." Or as the Buddha said, just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again. In our modern, fast-paced world, the teachings of both Buddhism and Stoicism can be incredibly relevant. They show us how to stay calm in chaos and make thoughtful, ethical decisions. However, integrating these ancient philosophies into a modern lifestyle can be challenging. It requires deep understanding and a commitment to practice these principles daily. It may seem daunting at first, but as you gradually learn and apply these teachings in your real life, you become a better person in ways you might not have imagined. There's a reason these philosophies have endured through the ages. They work, and their impact is profound. The real challenge is that many people don't realize how much we need these practices in our daily lives. Yet, we can't blame anyone for this. Often, it's something we need that we don't realize we need until we get it. As the Buddha said, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We, ourselves, must walk the path. Embracing the wisdom of Buddhism and Stoicism can transform our lives in unimaginable ways, helping us navigate the complexities of modern life with grace and resilience. As we reflect on the teachings of Buddhism and Stoicism, it becomes clear that wisdom is timeless. Whether you're drawn more to the spiritual depth of Buddhism or the practical resilience of Stoicism, both paths offer valuable insights for leading a fulfilling life. It's amazing how these philosophies remain relevant, especially now when our lives are busier and more distracted than ever. With the rise of AI and constant digital engagement, these philosophies can guide us through the changes and challenges of our modern world, helping us stay grounded and true to ourselves. However, it's important to remember that the journey begins with a single step. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Embracing the wisdom of Buddhism and Stoicism can be transformative, but real change begins with your commitment. Face your challenges, confront your inner demons, and harness their energy to fuel your journey towards enlightenment and resilience.